Hello. A defining moment for the housing sector. The words of a coroner today as she ruled that a toddler died because of the dreadful condition of his social housing. This is 2-year-old Awab Ishak. He suffered prolonged exposure to mould in his Rochdale flat, despite his parents begging the landlords for help. Their home was deemed unfit for human habitation. Well, 𝗟𝗘𝗧 was at the inquest. Peter, thanks for joining us tonight. This really is a tragic case, isn't it?
Yeah, hi, Tessa. It is for everyone who hears about it. And I think the coroner here summed things up perfectly today. She posed a question, a simple but pretty devastating question. This is what she said. She asked, how did this happen? How, in the UK, in 2020, does a 2-year-old child die as a result of exposure to mould in his home? The birthday boy, turning 2 years old in December 2020. But just days after this photo was taken, Awab Ishak was dead. Killed by the home he lived in, by the mould creeping through it, which had slowly damaged his respiratory system. Today, tears from his mum, Aisha, outside the coroner's court. She and husband Faisal listened as a solicitor spoke on their behalf.
Awab's coughing fits would sometimes last 2 to 3 days. There were days we wouldn't be able to take him out of the house because of how bad his coughing was. But of course, by him staying in the house, this made his coughing worse. We were absolutely trapped. We cannot tell you how many health professionals we've cried in front of, and Rochdale Borough Housing staff we have pleaded to, expressing concern for the conditions ourselves and Awab have been living in. We shouted out as loudly as we could, but despite making all those efforts, every night we will be coming back to the same problem.
Awab and his parents lived in a 1-bedroom housing association flat on this Rochdale estate. Shocking images from the time show how bad the mould was. The coroner said the flat was so poorly ventilated that it wasn't equipped for normal day-to-day life. The family first complained in 2017 and were told to paint over the mould. In 2020, they began legal action, and that summer, health visitors also raised their concerns about the mould to the housing association. Awab died a few months later. Today, the chief executive of Rochdale-wide Borough Housing said, "I am truly devastated about Awab's death and the things we got wrong. We have and will continue to learn hard lessons from this. We didn't recognise the level of risk to a little boy's health from the mould in the family's home. We must make sure this can never happen again. Awab's death needs to be a wake-up call for everyone in housing, social care and health."
We've published a report setting out clear recommendations for landlords to tackle damp and mould, to take a zero-tolerance approach, to be proactive, and to ensure that they take responsibility rather than inferring blame on the resident and claiming it's the resident's lifestyle that has resulted in damp and mould. It's imperative that landlords address this issue.
The coroner told Awab's parents she hoped they now had answers and that the son they lost would make a difference for other people. She said the tragic death of Awab Ishak should be a defining moment for the housing sector.
Peter, this is such an awful story, and from everything we've heard, a preventable death. I mean, we hear about lessons will be learned. Do you think anything will actually change?
Well, this all goes back to the coroner here today in her very strong words, putting this on everybody's map, and she couldn't be clearer. She wants change, real change to come from this, changing government policy, tighter rules around housing conditions. She said it's not just about Rochdale or social housing, it's about the private rental market as well. She said there's growing evidence of an increasing number of requests coming through for help, and she added that a lack of housing stock and the cost of living crisis is just making things worse. So she's writing to the Housing Minister and to the Health Secretary in the hope that, as she put it, Awab's death really can help others.